Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.
I'm Al Bledsoe, Veterans of Foreign War, Post 1108.
And I'm Ron Chappell, chaplain for veterans, Vietnam Veterans, Post 777 here in Richmond, and co-host with Al here at Proudly We Serve, which is a program for and about veteran services and opportunities. And it's our custom to allow our guests to introduce themselves so that we don't mess up. So starting to my immediate left.
I'm Brian Ray. I'm the Disabled Veteran Outreach Program Specialist for the WorkOne offices in East Central Indiana.
And I'm Pete McDaniel. I'm the Wayne County Veterans Service Officer.
All right.
Well, we're really proud to have both these men with us today to talk about veterans opportunities and what they can do in Wayne County. Pete, let's start with you and give us a little update of what you're doing and where you're going.
Well, things are progressing pretty good. We're going to hire a second veterans officer here at the county. It's going to be funded by the city. It's a joint cooperative effort with the city and the county so that we can get service to the Wayne County veterans that have mobility issues or homebound and open up the hours more in the office.
So is it going to be a full-time position?
It's going to be a part-time position. What it'll do, it'll be a 29-hour-a-week position. The hours will be subject to what gets us to 40 hours a week of a combination of the two between himself and mine. And that'll pretty much be how it pans out. He'll do everything I do.
Okay.
Or she.
I was going to ask.
Him or she.
Okay. All right. Great. Now, when you talk about veteran service officer, what does that entail? I mean, what do you do when a veteran comes to you and they say, okay, I'm here. I don't know. I just need help. I need a job. I need a house. I need.
I get that quite regularly.
Yeah.
The reason for the veteran service officer is navigating through the Veterans Administration bureaucracy is quite taxing. It's tough on me, and I do it every day. For individuals such as you guys that don't deal with it on a daily basis, figuring out the forms and how stuff has got to be completed correctly, time restraints, what documents have to accompany these particular enrollment forms is quite complicated. Every county in the state pretty much has a veteran service officer. And our job is primarily just to help the veterans get this paperwork completed. Educational benefits, disability benefits, pension benefits, state tuition for children of disabled veterans, all kinds of stuff. There's a variety of resources I have in my office as far as getting stuff done. One of my important ones here is Brian. And we'll get to him. If a veteran's come in, they recently got discharged from the military, they don't have a resume, they're trying to get started, get established in the county, they're looking for opportunities and possible employment opportunities. Brian is one of my go-to guys as far as saying, hey, this is where you want to start at. And he can pretty much tell you what he does.
I can see this as a kind of reciprocal kind of relationship because you're sending guys or people to Brian, and I'm sure Brian engages veterans who are looking for work opportunities or whatever, and you're sending them to Pete to find out what benefits they can get from the Veterans Administration. Am I correct?
All the time.
Yeah. So how does that work with you?
I do get several veterans that'll come in and they have a misconception that I'm affiliated with the Department of Veterans Affairs, which I'm not. I'm with the state of Indiana and I work with employment only. So I automatically, anytime a veteran has questions about benefits Whatever county I'm in, I send them to the county service officer because they're the subject matter experts
Okay.
on that.
So does the county itself have any specific benefits for veterans?
County specific, not that I'm aware of.
No specific county
Like a
benefits.
Job opportunities or anything like that, veterans get a preference or anything like that? Or?
A lot of companies they won't give them priority of service, but we do have veteran-friendly companies out there that are looking specifically to hire veterans.
Okay, so what now do you do? How does your office work?
With myself being the Disabled Veteran Outreach Program Specialist, I'm going to use the acronym from now on, DVOP.
Now, are you are in fact a veteran?
Yes,
Yes.
I am. What I'm to do is I work with veterans that have significant barriers to employment. They could be a disabled veteran. They could be homeless. They could lack a high school diploma. They could be a recently transitioning veteran. They could be an ex-offender. My job is to help them overcome those barriers and be able to find employment. I typically only work with 20% of the veterans that come into our WorkOne offices. I'm to take care of the more difficult cases
Okay.
that, have those barriers to overcome. We have
You personally?
Yes, me. We have a great staff in our offices that help everyone else, whether it be with tweaking resumes or if they need help with interviews or whatever. But my job is to work with those veterans that have significant barriers to employment.
That's good. That's good. I didn't know you actually worked.
Are the veterans in Wayne County using some of the benefits that we've talked about before, some of these relief programs where they can send in and get some cash to help them with different things?
Yes, they are.
Veterans
They are.
actively using that?
The ones that are aware of it, that have a little bit of knowledge of it, and that watch programs such as this and see advertisement in different areas of the community. Long and short of it is there's a lot that are unaware of the benefits that they're entitled to. The Military Family Relief Fund is one of the best ones going right now, and it's just where if a veteran falls on hard times, there's certain requirements, but the state will grant them $2,500, up to $2,500 for past due bills, rents, mortgages, vehicle repairs, and where all the money comes from. It comes from the license plates that we support at our BMV.
Yeah.
All the veteran status license plates. When you choose your service, that money goes to the state, and they have a fund set up where all that money just goes into one of these programs such as this.
So that's an encouragement for veterans out there that don't have those plates. You need to get them because you're helping.
The money goes
other
right back
veterans,
to us.
and you may need it one day yourself.
That is true. And like I said,
I'm sorry.
if a veteran has passed, his widow can use this benefit.
Oh, okay.
And that's the big one that a lot of them do not know. Even though the veteran has passed some time ago, if she falls on hard times, gets behind on as a furnace go out in her house, or gets behind on her power bill or heat bill or whatever the case may be, she can utilize this benefit as well.
See, we need to get this information.
We have
out.
a young veteran, and I hope that I can get him in touch with you because he is a Iraq guy. He's, I'm going to guess and say he's 25 maybe, and he needs health insurance. And for some reason, I said, look, all you got to do is call him. I gave him your phone number. I said, just call him and let him take it from there, because he got a sizable bonus when he got out or something. But he's really a good kid, very structured. He's always at work on time. He just does all the things he's supposed to do. But he needs to, I said, you need to get involved with some of those veteran benefits and see exactly what's out there, because he's a young man.
How long has he been out?
I'm going to say 2 years.
Once again, your combat veterans rolling out now.
I'll find out and
They
I'll
got
call
5
you.
years of VA service free. Whereas depending on no matter what their income specifications are, there's limitations nowadays due to the large amount of veterans that are using it, and they're pretty much slowing it down. But your veterans that are getting out for the first 5 years of their inactive status, they have VA benefits.
Okay, so if I get out and let's say I'm a communications tech, medical specialist, something like that, probably not going to have too much of a hard time getting a job. I remember when I got out, I was a communications tech, and I had a number of opportunities. But what about the folk that get out that are in the Army, be 11 Bush infantrymen, the foot soldier, Marine, those persons who haven't had really any technical training? How do you help them? How does that work?
One of the things I would recommend is that they use their GI Bill benefits.
Okay.
Go to school, learn a trade. Use that GI Bill because they'll receive a stipend while they're going to school to help with their living expenses. They could also, we may refer them to the VA's Chapter 31 program, which is their vocational rehab program. Kind of like the GI Bill, same thing, they get a stipend. But with the voc rehab, they'll actually, go a little bit farther in assisting the veteran by helping them out. Let's say we send them to HVAC training.
Where's that? Oh, HVAC.
HVAC. They could help them with tools or whatever, where the GI Bill might not. Okay, so those are two options. The other one's like they learn so many things in the military that a lot of them just aren't aware of what they can do when they get out. It's just sitting down, doing a little labor market research with them, saying, hey, these are some of the hot jobs that are in this area. You've got the skills to do them, and just connecting them with those jobs.
So how's that work for you, Pete?
Well, it goes back to the basic principles of what a veteran is. Although he may have just been running and gunning, he still has very good leadership traits. He knows how to work as a team. I mean, they're very employable.
That's valuable.
So regardless of what his MOS was or his primary responsibility, his job was in the military, he still has a set core values and skills that a lot of employers are looking for.
Yeah.
He knows how to show up Monday through Friday.
There you go. That's important.
He knows how to be on time.
That's a
He
big
knows
deal.
and he knows when to leave.
Yeah.
So regardless of his job, he has some internal skills that far exceed somebody that has never been in the military.
Yeah.
Not all, but some.
Yeah.
That say, you know what, we know he's got a good start.
Yeah.
He's got a good base to work off of, and regardless of his education.
Right.
And how far he went in
Right,
school
right.
versus an associate's or bachelor's or master's, whatever the case may be. He's teachable, he's trainable,
Yeah.
and he knows how to work as a team.
And that's a valuable quality, if you will, for employers, that people will show up on time.
Sure.
One of the biggest complaints I hear from members of the chamber, and that is the lack of responsibility of folk who they're hiring on these jobs. And they'll hire them or train them, and they may make it through the training. If they do, they give them a job, and they may only last a month. And that's a problem. But veterans, you're right. You're conditioned to be there on time and have that sense of responsibility and respect for authority and all those kind of things that are very good qualities for employees and
Right.
and for businesses. Yeah.
And the majority of the time, when a veteran moves on, he moves on to a better position.
Exactly.
He started out at this point, and he's worked his way up, or he's seen another opportunity in a different direction, and he goes.
Yeah.
It's the
And which is understandable.
It's the ABCs of job searching is what I tell them. When they get out of the military, they're just looking for a job, and then they move on to a better job, and then finally they move into that career. So
I like that.
it's like that, and like you said, it's the soft skills the employers are talking about right now.
Yeah.
Coming to work,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, the other one is getting along with your coworkers.
Okay.
That's a big thing too.
Yeah.
So we deal with that all the time, and that's one of the things that I help them with is those soft skills.
Yeah. And that's another thing that military experience helps you with, dealing with people from all walks of life.
Oh, yeah.
Because you become dependent upon one another, and you learn that a lot of the stereotypes and all that you've heard about, that those things aren't true, and so you learn that people can work together, and that's a quality, right?
Right. Some of the best friends I had was when I was in the military, and I'm sure you guys would agree.
Yeah,
I still have a couple that I still can keep in contact.
Yeah, people have had I stayed at home where I was, I would have never met them.
Right.
And I would have had, for many, some preconceptions about them, but I met them and I got to know them, and it worked out. Yeah.
Good guys.
Yeah.
Another area, I don't know if you see much of it. Your or trade type jobs, say police and fire. That's the main one I deal with. These are great jobs, good jobs.
Yeah.
It's military kids coming out. It's a good, exciting job for them. A lot of them choose that path.
Right.
They've set up on their educational benefits where so many veterans were wanting to do these type of jobs.
Right.
That didn't require a certificate or any type of associate's or bachelor's degree, that they can now use their post 9/11 benefits when they're going through the academy, when they're get on the job training.
Okay.
It's just like college. They look at it just like college. So when they go to the police academy or the fire academy,
Right.
they file for their educational benefits and they get them.
I like that stuff.
When they come out their first year of probation, when they're in training,
Right.
they can get their educational benefits to follow through.
I don't think the chief brought that up. We had the chief of police on last night, and he was telling
Well,
us
it's kind of a, some
veterans
people
get
know
an
about it,
extra
some don't.
point, I think, or something in the scoring process.
Correct.
They get an extra point. Veterans do.
Right.
In fact, I saw him last night, and he was talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That veterans get a little bit of preferential treatment,
Right.
which they should. I mean, the younger guys that we have at the dealership that are veterans are very good. I mean, they seem to be always there on time and all that stuff. And like you said, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. So we need to do a better job in getting this information out. So how can we do that?
How can we
I mean,
get
this
it out?
program, that's part of our purpose as well. What can other veterans organizations, whatever, how can we get this out to folks?
One of the things that I'm required to do as part of my job is to go out and do outreach
Okay.
and find veterans and inform them about these things.
Okay.
I do it several different ways. I stop by veteran service organizations and pass out flyers and my business cards. I have a database, an Excel spreadsheet back in my office that probably has 800 emails, addresses of veterans in the 9 counties I serve. And what I do is job fair flyers, stuff like this, I send out to all of them. Resource fairs, I let them know about that. Job fairs. I also visit community corrections in each county because veterans aren't immune. They get in trouble. And that's one of the areas that I try to help out in, is those that have gotten into a little trouble, help them overcome that barrier, because there are employers that sometimes are a little reluctant to hire somebody with that kind of a background.
Yeah. You deal with that, I know.
I do. Brian probably gets it more than I do. On my end of it, as long as they've got an honorable discharge, we can move them through the system and get them heading down the avenue that they need to be if they are having some drug or alcohol problems or any other type of problems where they need some type of treatment. And as long as they got the honorable discharge, they automatically qualify for it. Now, when we start looking at the employment, I get it. Before too long, we've discussed a couple times about a veterans court here in Wayne County. Veterans courts are great. I mean, they really are. They're a great benefit to our local veteran population because some of these guys operate off of see stuff through eyes that we don't see.
Right.
Like I tell everybody, the rest of the world operates at 110. These guys are running off 220. Some of them have some issues. Some of them have some PTSD issues. Some of them have some TBI injuries that cause them to do things to set them down a path to where they kind of fall through the cracks sometimes if there's no veterans court or nobody that can look in and say, look, we understand where this might be going. And the veteran courts are great programs across the state where they'll take a veteran, if he's a combat veteran, he's got some issues with what we just kind of steered towards, they can say, you enroll in the VA medical system, you start going through these programs, and it kind of offsets the crime. It doesn't take away from serious felonies, but if they've got a DUI, if they've got a simple assault, if they've got something that was just, they just done something dumb because they was having issues and nobody really addressed them issues and they really didn't understand how to get help for them issues. The Veterans Court can say, look, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to charge you with this serious crime if you can jump through these hoops and go through these programs within the Veterans Administration to get yourself some help. And you complete everything, and then we'll revisit where we are with your crime and punishment, and it'll be a lesser, which it saves the veteran, and then in return, when Brian sees them, they possibly won't have a felony. They possibly won't have that crime on the record that has to be disclosed for employment, and it helps them get on with their life.
And
Wow,
I work
that's
with
amazing.
two
I
counties.
didn't realize it could do that.
I work with 2 counties that have Veterans Court, and I've seen it firsthand, and it's tremendous.
You're right.
They do a veterans treatment court, and they also have for non-veterans a drug diversion court. And both of those
I didn't know any of
courts,
this.
both of these courts do tremendous things. And it's not an easy program to go through. I mean, there's strict guidelines you have to follow, and if you slip up, there's penalties to pay. But it's a great program. I'd love to see Wayne County jump on board.
So is this within the current system, or do they?
Is that something
They create another court.
It's just like all the other special courts they got, like the drug and alcohol courts. They see the need for, look, somebody just did something dumb with drugs. Why condemn them the rest of their life? If in the drug court, they can say, you jump through these and do this, this, and this, and get this counseling. We're not going to put this to the severity that we could to help you in your future.
Wow.
But
I didn't know any
and the
of this.
veterans is the same way.
No.
It's out there. It's a good program, and like I said, they're combat veterans have issues.
And these judges
Sometimes they just don't.
donate their time.
Yeah.
The
Right.
prosecutor that comes to the court donates his time.
Oh, my. That's huge.
Community corrections is involved because they're the ones that are doing the actual monitoring of the people that are going through the court. So it's a great program, and we definitely need one here.
Yeah. Like I said,
Okay.
the veteran service
Do we have
officers
any
would.
veterans in trouble like that? Do you run into guys?
We do. I've seen several.
Yeah.
We all got them. Like I said, it's sometimes they just get off track and they do something dumb. It's not a norm. It's not them as a whole. It's just something they made that one error because they was going through a tough time for some particular reason.
And experiences too, when you're in the military, can be an issue to cause you to exhibit certain kinds of behaviors. And just as an example, I remember ministering to a fellow who was dying, and the doctors said he should have died, but he was afraid of dying because he was dealing with some issues from Vietnam. And so I had opportunity to talk to him about it, and I shared with him. And after I shared with him, I left and went away for a couple of days. He passed on. But this guy had been struggling with this stuff. And my point is that there are guys and gals who had some tremendous, awesome experiences in a combat, situation, and that just eats away at them. And so when they get back, they go into drugs and alcohol and stuff like that to try to suppress those memories, and then they get caught up in it. And some of them get into so bad that they start selling it to support their own habit. And so those kind of folk.
Right. They start using those things for
Yeah.
coping mechanisms,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
long and short of it, they've got an
yeah.
addiction problem, and,
Yeah.
and that's not the only problem. Like I said,
Right.
it's just by no means do we make excuses or say it's less as
Okay,
a
no, but-
factor as it is in the civilian population, but the Veterans Court is just a way for
Right.
the look and say, look, we know a little bit what you've done. We understand what possibly might be getting you to this
Right.
point, rather
Right.
than you just made bad choices. You
right.
have external factors that are
Right.
kind of pushing you this way. So they
Right.
say, let's get this help. Let's do these programs,
Right.
and let's revisit this before
And
It'd be
we can
interesting
vet.
to just see the figures on that of how many veterans have a problem or they've got to go to court or something like that. The Wayne County judges, from my opinion, I guess, they're pretty good to military people. I mean, I've never been before one except a speeding ticket, but they seem to be more lenient to the veteran. But I think that that's, there's a call to do all of that stuff. If we could just find out the numbers of how many veterans do we have in Wayne County, and would those veterans come forward and say, yeah, I got a problem, can you help me with this? That's a lot
Well,
of
they
it.
identify them when they first go in
Exactly.
through the system.
Sure.
They mark down their veteran status, and there's like Brian said, there's a lot of counties doing this already, and everybody speaks highly of it. And we got some help coming to my office. Hopefully, we'll be able to start heading down this path.
And the biggest thing is this court gives those veterans the structure that they used to have in the military. That's kind of the problem, is they fell off of having that very structured routine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they get them counseling, they get them into NA or AA meetings, and it gets that structure back in their life that they're missing.
And they set them up with older veterans such as yourself, and they do. They take the older veterans and let them mentor the younger veterans.
Word like
Yeah, you just throw that in there, okay?
I'll throw that out there.
Let's get some
You old guys can help the young guys
Hey,
with your
okay,
experiences.
Brian, how do they get to you, Brian? How do they get to your office?
I can be contacted. My office phone number, cell phone number, 765-238-0007, or email me at brea@work-one.org.
Okay.
And Pete?
And Pete.
And I'm down there at the Wayne County Annex Building. My phone number is 765-973-9207.
Okay.
Just call and we'll get your appointment in the books if you need.
Well, this has been just a really good, informative
program,
show today. We just need to probably extend it out a little bit.
You think so?
There's so many issues. There's so many issues that face veterans.
You can bring these guys back again?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's so many issues that face veterans that it's just almost seemed like it's unending.
Yeah.
With that, I'm going to say goodbye.
Yeah. Okay, hey, we're out of time, folks. And guys, thank you so much, guys, for coming
Welcome.
Thanks.
today. Good program,
Appreciate
good
that.
information. And we thank you for watching Proudly We Serve.
Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.